All right, we're live, and this is going to be a conversation. I think that is this is a good conversation, and I'm gonna get us started out a little bit because oftentimes people will say, you know, what love has to do with it. Now we can say what money has to do with it, but at the same time, are we dealing with money in relationships? Whether what doesn't matter at this point. But I have a different perspective that I'm going to kick into this in just a moment, and I'll ask Brother Joseph here and Brother Dreamwise here a serious question, and also the audience too. I'm gonna put it on the screen for you all to kick off this conversation because, as you know, we've been working toward a lot of conversations about relationships. Working toward our August 8th. And if for all of you, if you haven't got your ticket virtual or live, there is a link in the description about everybody's videos. We're streaming to several channels at this moment. And so, therefore, I encourage you to go to the link, get your ticket, and everything else. But let's get to the question of money. Now, a lot of people will say, Roderick, you know, money ain't everything. And I agree with everyone. It's not everything. Money is not everything. However, I rate it right up there with oxygen. So, but how much do you rate that in a relationship? Because is it that important if you find love or don't find love? Because there's a lot of people out there in relationship with someone just because of money. There's people taking crap. Some people there's some money. There are some people meet the love of their life because they work an $8 job and they work a $12 job. It's beneath them. It's just so many areas. So what I'm going to do with the fellas here, and I'm gonna put some on the screen. I'll read it out loud. This is for the audience too, because I want each of you to respond to this independently. The audience respond to this independently, and I think it's gonna set the tone. What does love got to do with it, or what does money got to do with it, or either or? But let's put this on the screen. And this says that 80% of women escape poverty through marriage, but 80% of men also enter poverty through marriage. The same institutions can be the latter or a trap. Let that sink in for a minute. And since you want a provider, since the man got to be a provider, he's got to be all this. Brother Yosef, I'm going to start with you with this conversation here. I will read it again for those who got us on audio only. 80% of women escape poverty through marriage, and 80% of men also enter poverty through marriage. Same institution. So let me take this down and I thought it'd be a good way for us to start our conversation.
Yes, I agree with that so much because once again, why would that even make sense? We have to understand how we are biologically designed. Like women are, there's a thing going around which really makes me angry of a woman choosing a bear over the man.
Okay.
It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
The bear over the man. Choose the bear if you want to. We'll see. We'll see if you make it out of the woods that night. You know what I'm saying? Men are just so horrible until I choose a bear over. But to go back to the original comment, yes, I do believe women. When everybody plays their roles correctly, when everybody plays their roles correctly, yes, it's true that 80% of women or even more can escape poverty. And when the man has his priorities in order, he has his principles in order, his business in order. Yes, he can help his family escape poverty, and a woman is a part of that. So I think all women financially do better when they're married, right? And we talked about marriage last week, what that means, right? If you with somebody you love, y'all been together for 20 plus years, you're married. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, yes, you can escape poverty. Now, vice versa, I think the other part was 80% of women see poverty if they are not married or something like that.
Put it back. I'm gonna put it back on
80%
screen.
of men.
It says 80% of women. Well, just saying that a man that has money at some point, the woman she escapes poverty, but then it puts him in Brokeville for being there.
Right,
so it's like, it's the same institution, but it has a ladder, or can it be a trap? Which
absolutely. And men definitely can enter poverty if he don't got his priorities together. Any man who has a wife, I don't care how bad you think she was or what y'all went through, you should have your affairs set in order to where she can get something for being a wife. I mean, that's just something. If y'all partner, you married, you partners, right? That's something especially if you have children, you can't leave that woman high and dry. But some men are so getting so in their feelings about stuff, they want to just hurt the woman. You know what I'm saying? I don't agree with that at all. Now, men who don't have their priorities in order, they don't have any morals or principles, they pick the wrong woman. That's another side of it. They pick the wrong woman, and a woman be ready to take half of their inheritance. The comedian guy, I think we were talking about that before, he just went through that. I think Brother Dream brought it up in the last video. He went through that, where as soon as he got with the white lady, you know, and I'm not against race, whoever you love, you love. But as soon as he got with her, you know, she wanted half. But smart, he was being smart. He put his stuff in his father's name, and she couldn't get nothing. So that's my take on it. Yes, I think that's very true.
Absolutely, absolutely. I like that quote, and it makes sense for people that are broken. Essentially, when you do find that one you want to marry and be committed to, there's a specific bond, a specific mission that y'all are trying to accomplish. Now, usually the man has the mission, the purpose driven inside of him to, you know, set forth a physical goal, right? And we got to understand one thing: spiritual is love. Being spiritual is love. But yeah, these bills are a physical thing. So in D. Ray and I's case, right, we have this spiritual love, but we're, you know, moving into this physical realm with a mission, with a purpose, with something that we want to put down together. So the money is a byproduct of, you know what I'm saying, our purpose, what we want to put down. So essentially, that quote that you showed, Roderick, it sounds to me as if a lot of people are using people for a come up, or being, you know, being a sucker for love, or getting played to the left. You feel me? And usually you see it a lot. You know, people are paying for pussy, people are paying for sex, and they just don't have no gumption about them to make a assertive effort to know somebody, to really get to know somebody and genuinely build a bond with them in that yin and yang principle. So yeah, that is true in today's society. But when we really step back and look at it, when we're talking about spiritual love, uh, um, there's something bigger than the fiat dollar.
Yeah, I took it a different way. I understood the more contextual thoughts of that, where it said 80% of women escape poverty. And I think we mentioned this the other day, where the question was, or it has been said, that a successful male would not hesitate to marry or bring in a woman that has not as much as he has, versus a woman that has more than a man bring him in. And if that's 80, if that number is 80%, that women will get this, or they're looking for this, because we're going to disguise this under the word provider, and they're looking for this provider. And if he is the provider, and if it doesn't work out, then you know they want their half or whatever. So that same 80% getting with those people could be if it's for the wrong reason. Now, my question for us and for the audience, and you know, and I wish your wife was here too. But the thing about is that, you know, let's go down to the basics of why we're here, because I don't think we're trying to, and of course, Brother Joseph being the chief of his tribe and prosperity of that tribe is his one of his things that he have to do, you know. But what really happens when two people, maybe that one they lost their job, this one lost their job, or maybe it's hard for them to find, they connecting with one another. He's making 25,000, she's making 26,000. Together they got 52,000. Ain't really that much they're gonna do, I'm gonna assume, but more than what they got. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, do we discount that as being love? Can they find love and then all of a sudden work hard together at night and say, let's start a business, let's get ourselves out of this together? And then, of course, rightfully so, if they build an empire and they split, that's half of each other's empire, right? But are we losing relationships based on these criteria that someone is not there yet?
Mm-hmm.
And that person is not there yet, or they don't see the power of the partnership that they can pull each other out. So, Brother Joseph, you have two tribe members. You know that their economic stuff is different, but then maybe their value together can make a winning team. And to use it in a story fashion, I once told a woman, and I only used this line once in my life, but I said, you know what, you're a pretty decent chick, blah blah blah. And I said, any one of us are good enough to take somebody off the bench and win a championship, or get to the playoffs is what I told, of life. She was like, no, she really didn't hit it. I said, any one of us, you got what you got. We can both get somebody and we can make it to the playoffs. But together we can win a championship. I want the ring. She never figured it out. Okay, where I was going with that, right? I said, but together, we can win. I want the ring. So I'm saying, where is it? Do we can see that vision? And where would you give that notion, Brother Joseph, to two people and saying, hey, you know what? Y'all may need to stay together, work together, and grow this thing together. Versus, I need you to go find a man that's providing for you, and you need the brother go get a better job.
Yeah, well, in marriage, in my opinion, leadership has to be established. You know what I'm saying? Who's going to be the leadership of this? Who's going to lead the boat on certain things, right? And just because somebody's a leader doesn't mean that that's not a team effort. One of my favorite rappers said, even when you play with Jordan, even Kukoc get a ring. You know what I'm saying? When you play with Jordan, even Kukoc get a ring. Tony Kukoc, if y'all remember the Bulls back in the day.
Yeah.
We know Jordan was doing most of the work. But because Tony Kukoc, the stuff that he did provide for the team, Dennis Rodman barely had points, but he got a bunch of blocks and rebounds all game, Everybody has a part to play. And that's what makes the team work. No, Jordan could not do it by himself, even though he was great in his own position.
Absolutely.
So the point I'm trying to make is there has to be teamwork, right? There has to be teamwork. But at the same time, it was a point I was trying to make to come back to.
Everybody, you said you was talking about leadership.
Yeah, it was something based on what Roderick was saying. But it slipped my
mind.
I was
just saying, if you got two people that they both making the same amount of money, but they want the lifestyle.
Oh yes, I got it now. Yeah. I got it now. There's an old saying that says business before pleasure. So before you take marriage seriously, y'all think about being together, business has to be talked about. Business has to be established. You know what I'm saying? She need to know whether or not she's gonna sign a prenup, or all that need to be talked about before marriage is even, you know what I'm saying? Business before pleasure. So nobody should be showing somebody all their bank account stuff and y'all not serious about being together. Right? Even if a person has children with another person. Yes, that man's supposed to provide for that child and that woman, but if him and the woman is not seeing eye to eye, his most important thing he need to do is provide for that child. But in the world we live in, with the state and everything, the state gives power to the woman. So a woman will use that as an anchor sometimes to hurt the man and lie to the man. There's a lot of videos floating around right now of the children coming back and find out their mama lied for 20 years and going back cursing out the mama. You know what I'm saying? But it's too late. The damage is done. So at the end of the day, the point I'm trying to make is business before pleasure. Business need to be talked about in a family. This is why the fathers got together. See, nobody wants to deal with traditional. Nobody wants to be held accountable. So everybody just say, oh, that stuff don't work no more. That's the old times. No, you just don't want no accountability. That's what it is. So if we follow tradition of fathers, with the two businessmen in the family would get together and talk about his daughter and your son. And the father talk about what value could bring to the next generation of the children.
Yeah.
Because the business had to be talked about before y'all had y'all wedding ceremony. So if we follow those same traditions, when we sit down and we date each other and we talk about what do you make? What do I make? What can I bring to the table? And yes, ladies, we have to ask, what can y'all bring to the table sometimes? Right? It's not, and we're not talking about financial. We're not looking for that. We're looking for somebody who can make us feel a certain way because we got to put the pressure on our back as men in the family. And we respect y'all as our equals to do the same, but we are a team. And you can't have a team without a leader. They even do this in sports. It don't make sense. There's no such thing. We both leaders. No. One person has to be a leader, and then somebody else can lead on something else. So that has to be established, business before pleasure. That's my take on that.
No, that's good, Joseph. That's power. And I remember you saying your partner needs to bring you peace. You feel me? That's very profound because essentially that's what we're looking at. Like, can this goddess bring me peace, not pressure, not putting more pressure on me to get a bigger house, get a fancier car. I need my hair and nails done every week. You know what I'm saying? That kind of pressure can drive a man crazy. And if she's not, meeting a particular balance with that energy, then a guy could like literally erode and just feel worthless. Um, I was blessed in my situation just based off of I guess because we started at well, she was young, she was 24, I was 29, and essentially we both didn't have no kids, and we were kind of just starting a new journey. I was starting something new in my life where I was trying to move away from the lifestyle I was in, and she was just getting out of school and all that, and just coming from overseas. So I got her at a great time. You feel me? So naturally, I had a job. I was a PE teacher. I was making money. I had my own apartment, car, all of that, blah blah blah. And all she needed to provide for me was a sort of peace. You know what I'm saying? And that peace is a currency, right? That
Mhm.
you can't buy.
That's right.
Especially when you start having kids. Now we got to quantify, okay, how much is taking care of these kids worth? How much is cooking every day worth? When you look around and really look at this thing and examine it, shit, she might be making more money than you holding down the house than you out here getting to it.
Mhm.
You try to sit with 4 kids for a day. My ass, god damn. Hell nah, let's switch.
Right.
Liz, let me tag you in. D-Ray's on vacation right now. Tag, come on. I'm going crazy. I'm pulling my hair out.
Mhm.
I'm like, God dang, where you at, babe? So,
Well,
that piece or that, because we do gotta take care of our kids, right? So cool. So now naturally, right, the father can be that example of what a man actually is supposed to look like, getting out here and getting to it. And
Absolutely.
then the mother can be the nurturer. So sometimes you got to step back and not look at the financials of this thing, but kind of look at what kind of value and energy she is actually bringing that might be worth more than gold.
well,
Facts.
I lost I don't know how close a friend me and him should have been, but we were pretty cool. He called me up one day. He was on the phone. We was talking about money, um, and he asked me a question. He said, "Hey, man, I've been having this. I don't really feel comfortable. I'm having this conversation with my wife or whatever it was, or however they was together." He said, she wants to quit her job. She want to, be a stay at home. He said, "What do you think?" Now I know him. I don't know their business. And the only thing I can think of, and I said, "You really want my answer?" He's like, "Yeah, I want your answer." I said, "Look, honestly, if she can go over to North Dallas to that white neighborhood in Highland Park that we got all those rich houses, and they will hire her to be their household maintainer, did you bring her home? But if she ain't got them kind of damn skills, hell no."
Yeah.
If she can't get hired, I didn't know she was on the phone.
Oh,
Oh
oh,
shit. Okay.
oh. Ooh.
Oh, she went off on me. I was like,
Ooh.
dude, but I thought I spoke some truth. If she wants me to stay at home and run the house, if she can go over there and get hired, then you bring her. She got skills. If they would hire her to take care of their crib, but if he come and she ain't got no, because some people want to be stay at home and they ain't got no skills.
Yes.
You know what
True.
I'm
That
saying?
is true too, Roger.
And
Yeah.
I haven't talked to him since. It's been about 3 years. So I was like, "Hey man, I'm sorry." He called me back. He was like, "Man, we cool, but my wife is just ticked off at you now." I'm like, "Hey, that's what it is." So what do y'all think? I mean, was I wrong, or should I apologize to her too? I tried, but
Man, like Yosef been saying, that peace though, when you get home a long, stressful day, that's what the whole idea of this patriarchal system is. It's kind of like an idea of, honey, I'm home, and the wife meets you at the door, and she, massages you. She has the food ready. The kids are, you know, good and whole, and blah blah blah. So the idea is kind of that, right? You bring home the bacon, she cooks it up, and you know what I'm saying, is that's the balance
Right.
that's happening in the kingdom. Um Nowadays, you know, just like Yosef been saying, tradition has been lost to where a lot of our culture people, our Black Americans people, um, have lost their way in the kitchen, in cleaning, and in so many different facets of just holding down a household. You'll just be like, wow, we are really falling behind. I remember it was a storm or something. It was flooded out here. Remember that, Joseph? Maybe a year ago, real bad,
Mhm.
flooded everywhere, bad. Couldn't go nowhere, and
Mhm.
all you seen was the food trucks winning. Boy, all the lights were out. It was just a mess.
Taking
Food
advantage.
trucks were winning. I'm talking about people were lined up down the block. I'm like, dang, nobody got no gas stoves. Nobody ain't cooking nothing. So,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? It just shows you where the generation is at, that younger generation, that YN generation, where they're kind of losing their way just based off of the um, epidemic of the crack epidemic and all of these different programming systems that the government has implied for the degradation of Black people.
All right. So what about those two people? Let's just I know we're into male empowerment, female femininity, but let's just get what most people are dealing with. You know, he works at Walmart, she works at Target. How do they make that work? And if it ain't about money or love,
Man,
you know?
that's crazy. I got a little bro that's in that same exact
Yeah.
position.
I was in that situation. You know what I'm saying? My wife, college educated, got degrees. She was making the money. That's why I tell y'all, when I'm on here, anybody who listening, Brother Yosef talking, because I've been through it all in a marriage. You know what I'm saying? I
Mhm.
was the guy at one. That's why I'm hired on the brothers. Like, hey, you gotta do something.
Yeah,
You gotta
yeah.
take it to the next level, brother. Because I was that guy who was working. I was security guard. Y'all know security guards don't pay that much. You know what I mean? When you got a family. Um, Started off making $9 an hour, minimum wage, and I slowly worked myself up with experience, right? But in the meantime, what kept me and my wife together, and she never disrespected me. She never talked down on me. She made the most. She made more money. I worked 2 jobs, and my wife still made more money than me. You see what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
what kept us together? Because she always had this respect for me. Like I was a leader. I was in charge, and I did what I needed to do as a man as well. If it did get short, I didn't depend on her because she had more. She was making more money. I did what I had to do as a man. Okay, I got to get double time at the job and do what I got to do.
Mhm.
So I'm saying that to say, like, the way you make it work is what kept us together was principles.
Mhm.
She had a certain level of principles as a woman and morals that she stood on about her husband. And I had a certain morals and levels of principles about me as a man, and we was able to respect each other.
Mhm.
It had nothing to do with sex and money. Today, most people think base their relationship off of sex and money. How good is the sex and how much money is he making? I'm not lying. It's the truth.
It
You know
is.
what I'm saying? And we work out whatever comes in between. And that's where people go wrong. Nobody ain't standing for nothing. And that's what the problem I see. And that's why I'm like, yo, we got to come back to tradition and really learn how to date each other. And every man should be standing on some type of principle. I don't care if you're a Christian, a Muslim, a Catholic. Some dudes out here ain't nothing. They not metaphysical. They just exist. You know what I'm saying? And you expect to have your family in balance. It ain't gonna work. It
Yeah.
ain't gonna work. That's what kept us balanced when she made more money than me, family.
My brother-in-law, he just got out of high school maybe 2 years ago, and it's funny that you said that, Roger, because he worked at Walmart, and his girlfriend, his high school girlfriend, and they got a place together. She worked at Target, and anyway, they trying to make it happen. They young in love with that type of energy, um, and man, I've just been on them like crazy. You feel me? I've been on them like crazy, but it's going in one ear, out the other. You know what I'm saying? I've been giving him the understanding of what he should do to really get out here and get to it. Because again, you know what I'm saying? It's a dog eat dog world out here. and you got to protect your household in any way. So, well, I'm telling them, hey, look, here go an audiobook here. Read this. Look at this. Look into investing in this. Take your money, do this. Well, you know what I'm saying? And again, that YN energy, they just, no, I'm going to just get another job, right? And and try to, you know what I'm saying, which you got, it's a good, it's a good ambition towards something. But again, sometimes you got to listen to your OGs, because the OGs can put you on game, and you're not seeing the pitfalls that we went through, right? That you can actually maneuver through faster if you just sit there and listen.
All right. So think about, again, I like to keep it on that surface level. Y'all know that. And so I'm sitting here thinking, the whole thing August the 8th is, what love got to do with it?
Mm-hmm.
Then we got what love's got to do with hyphen, money got to do with it, sex got to do with it, cooking got to do with it, beauty got to do with it. And I think we should do a thing on voice. What voice got to do with it? You want somebody to sound pleasant to you? And because I was doing Illuminati stuff a while ago, and I was talking about how they program the kids with cooing and soft voices, and like, should that be soothing? When you think about these things. So all these levels of what got to do with it, is there a common ground where two people are going to meet someone that they're going to love, or does it even matter? Or should we just be telling people, just go caveman days, hit somebody in the back of the head, drag them off with their hair, you mind, and leave it at where it is? Because there's just so many variables when we start thinking about esoterically the material world versus the spiritual world, right? And that material world seems to be driving every decision that 99% of people are making. How do we get people away from that? Brother Joseph, on your side of the fence, and then you, Brother Drink. Yeah.
I would just say everybody need to be patient. Everybody need to date, go back to dating. We got to go back to tradition. Dating don't really exist like that. You know what I'm saying? Once the bedroom happened, everybody like, okay, we together. Or there's an ambiance in the air that we might be together. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes a woman, because she's more emotional, she needs to confirm that. Unless she's one of them sisters like, hey, you just the Tuesday and Friday guy. You know what I'm saying? Unless that's been established. And that's fine. If you don't want to get married, you want it to be older or grown up and have fun, that's fine too. But if a person looking for marriage, then you need to take your time. You know what I'm saying? You need to really get to see who this person is. Date them for at least 3 months. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna die. You know what I'm saying? You may really start to like this person, and if something happened, it happened. But at the end of the day, date the person, get to know them, because I'm telling y'all the truth. The worst people in the world are the most alluring, the most handsome, the most beautiful. I'm not saying there ain't no handsome or beautiful good people. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to say the devil can look like all that. You know what I'm saying? The devil could look like all that.
Look, we just talked about that today. I'm laughing. Yeah.
And I know I don't need to tell nobody out there this, because usually if you've been dating for a while, you've been through at least one of it. Like, it's been somebody attractive. And by attractive, y'all, I just mean that somebody you're attracted to, because beauty's in the eye of the beholder. We know that. But take your time, because these people ain't always who they appear to be. And the worst people will try to move it fast. You know what I'm saying? Make it happen fast, because they know once they get you, they got you. And it's hard to get out.
All right.
So
you keep leading me down these paths. My mind just be wondering. Okay. So let's go with the word date, because I think there's a misconception there too. Because would you want to be with somebody who's dating 5 people at the same time because they're dating, or 5 people that year finding the right person separately? Because it's dating, but some people are multiple dating.
Yeah. And if you're not committed to that person, I think that's okay. If I'm dating a young lady and she's dating a few other guys, she want to see who she wants. I may be dating some other lady to see who I want. Don't mean I'm sleeping with them, having sex with them. It don't mean they're at my house every weekend. I'm just dating. And there's nothing wrong with dating, because everybody gets to try to mark it out and see what they like the most. You know what I'm saying?
Well, then how do you get a better understanding because being a man, we can do that. You can date 4 women the same time that month. But how are you going to get to know each one if you're not giving due diligence, if we're going to handle business, right? Because business tell us we need to do our due diligence and find out. But unbusiness say just
Well, that's where time comes in. If you're dating 5 different women for 3 months, that's a lot of dates. Now,
Yeah.
as a man, I know how I get, brothers. That's some money for us. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You have to come out of your pocket. You have to tell every now and then, hey, let's go to Starbucks and let's sit down and have a cup of tea, a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't took her to a fancy restaurant, then she's not gonna mind. Now, let's be honest. When you've been dating somebody for a while, once they know you'll pay for a dinner, they don't mind saying, hey, let's meet up at Dunkin' Donuts and have a cup of coffee and let's talk. They not gonna mind because they know, okay, this brother's already paid for me. He's coming to pick him. Okay, we just gonna meet up on my lunch break and we just gonna have a 30-minute talk. That's the next level, right? That's the next level. So there's nothing wrong with that. And then you kind of just weigh your options as you go. That's why it needs to be. If you're gonna be dating multiple people, it's gonna take time. It's gonna take time. You gotta take time to figure out who these people are. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And be smart about it.
Absolutely. Mystical LaCrista said dating equals collecting data. Yeah, that's
Okay.
right. So
Like
that data collection is a thing because we're subconsciously understanding people's essence as we're dating them. So naturally, you kind of pick up on certain tendencies if she's really for you, if she's really not for you, if she has an investor's mindset, if she has a spending mindset, if she's, you know what I'm saying, if she's about nurturing, can she cook? So you're just looking at all the, is she ratchet? Does her, you know what I'm saying, does she have a father in her life? Hey, I'm just saying.
yeah, the elements you'll find out.
Yeah, so all them little nuanced things, right, that we're just subconsciously observing and feeling in these people's essence. Naturally, what will happen is the right connection, because you are, you know what I'm saying, whole and getting or being healed. And in my particular, in me and D-Ray's particular situation, I'm healing myself. I'm working on myself. I'm reading. I'm doing this. And lo and behold, she's with it. She's reading. She's meditating. She's doing this. And then we building on it. We vibing. And it just becomes a thing of like, oh, you was right here all along. You feel me? Instead of me being out here, just lusting and stuff like that. Can I have somebody? Is somebody's mind right on the same frequency as me? So I think a lot of times what happens is we absolutely fall in alignment with somebody that's of our cloth, of our essence. See, one of the aspects of the glamour that we got to destroy is the aspect of not making your money work for you. You can't just be out here buying J's and shit and you don't got no money. Balenciaga shoes. How you gonna have $100,000 necklace on? Like, let's think about that. Some of these rappers got gas stations on their neck. So now you know that. So now you know that person, right? That got 3-4 gas stations on his neck, a whole goddamn mini mall in his grill, is not about, building and having a community, right? Them Indian cultures, them Chinese, Asian cultures, they're making gas stations. It's 100,000. And then they're giving that to their family. So the money is not real because, again, their thing is, okay, how can we buy back our time? How can we gain more freedom? So when you see people that's in this glamour mindset, it could be a female. She, has to have a Birkin's bag, right? Got a gas station bag. Got gas station red pumps.
Yeah.
Have to get your hair and nails done every week and you barely even making ends meet. Nah, we gotta think differently. Make your money work for you. Invest in something that's where you can see the money come back. See, I knew D-Ray was the one because she was an athlete. She was a winner, and athletes and sports people, they kind of had the same kind of mindset of like, I don't know what it is. It's just they don't want to be in the system. You feel me? They don't want to be confined to the system. So you see trainers, blah, 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 and so on and so forth, right? So naturally, us as entrepreneurs, we got this entrepreneurial spirit to where, You know what I'm saying? Our time is more precious, more important than the money, than having a, just being locked down to a fancy car and a house, what you're a slave to. You spending 50 minutes in traffic a day, Joseph? What? I'll be damned. Nigga, I'm dropping D-Ray off to the airport. I was losing my mind. This morning, I'm just like, wait, what is going on? It's 7. Joseph, it was, see, me and you and Roderick, we can all talk about this. We don't experience that. A lot of the family out here might be experiencing commuting through traffic, and the traffic is moving so slow. And I'm like, people drive through this every day, and it's not. See, I just did it once. Think about doing that every day. Nah, you got to figure out how to get out of that mission. So again, your time is your most precious commodity, and you want to be able to, have your time, your physical body, and your energy back rather than the money.
I just pulled up a statistic on the internet, and I don't know how this will play, but I just Googled the Bureau labor statistics, and they was talking about weekly income, of course, and I was talking about black men here, and it says Asian man earns around $1,700 a week. White men around $1,300 to $1,400, Hispanics between $1,000 to $1,054, black men $1,000 to $1,039, which is about $50,000 annually. What can that buy? 54 grand. You know what I'm saying? I mean, is that a nice apartment? I mean, we're not talking about us as where we used to be, and then now we become where we are as entrepreneurs, but we're going with 80-70% of people. And this is in 2025. So we're dealing with real hard numbers, and we're talking about finding love, being a provider. In this case, can he be the provider, or is this a 2-working household now? Where are the dilemma changes that we both need to be working, or those 2 people need to be working?
He can still be the provider. He's just going to not be able to give his family a
now,
lot
is
of
he
that.
still the man of the house if he's not making that much?
If he's out there trying his best to get it, yes, he's still the man of the house.
Okay.
And he should still get respect because he's trying, he's pushing, he's going and putting 2 legs in the pants every morning, going out there being a man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Until he figures the thing out. But yes, he can still provide for it because I've seen people do it. They still, and I know people that do. Still provide for your family, but you just ain't gonna have the best of what you want yet. And that man is in a very weird place because I know what it feels like to want to give your family more, and you can't right now. You know what I'm saying? I remember me and my wife, we couldn't even afford nightstands for our bedroom. We had a little table, folding chair trays, and I looked at her when I felt so bad as a man. I said, honey, one day I'm gonna be able to give you a nightstand. That now when I look at a nightstand, it mean the world to me because I know what it's like not to have something to be in the bed and put over and put your, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to give my family more. We don't gotta be super rich living in a $10 million house, but just to have the basics. Some people don't even got the basics. They working with beds on the floor, microwave cooks everything. You know what I'm saying? But they making it. They making it the best way they can. And I know what a man like that has in his mind. He wants more for his family. And I want to encourage that, brother. If you keep pushing, you will be able to get more for your family.
Absolutely. What I was telling my brother-in-law, I was like, look, hey, you at the bottom of this thing. So now what you got to do is start investing in something, whether that be you being consistent on YouTube, whether it be you being consistent on any of these social media streams. Like I made a video the other day, said, hey, look, these social media streams are for the gods and goddesses. Because again, like I don't know how I would have been getting to it. You feel me? If it wasn't for social media, right? I just made 100,000 on TikTok just last year. And that was just off of a whim, Spirit saying, put your supplements on TikTok. So you get what I'm saying? Like, we got to start somewhere, right? And this is 8 years in now. wait, 8 years, maybe 9 years in now since I've been on YouTube. You feel me? And it's blessed my game, blessed my life into a place where I don't have to go into the street activity, right? And all of that, because I removed myself from that life, came into the teaching thing, didn't like getting up, right? Didn't understand it. So I had to do what I had to do to get to another level, right? So I think a lot of times us fellas, us guys, we got to have some kind of gumption about us, some kind of heart about us in this particular lifetime. How old are you, Roderick? If you don't mind me asking. Oh, you muted, Roderick, or am I muted? Oh,
Well, I mean, that's what it was. That's how.
oh, okay, you that okay? Look, no, but look, this is my
No,
point about
no, I'm 25 times 2 plus 3 plus 2 and 1.
the point I wanted to make is Roderick is on YouTube every day. Come on, dog. That's hustle. That's love. That's a level of.
Hey, I live with my mama.
That's a level of.
So the story would tell, but I get what you're saying. People misunderstand the hustle, because with YouTube you got brand deals. Of course, I got offices now. I have training rooms. We're doing all these things, but through YouTube, through the podcasting, content creation, and some people look at it. I've talked to people and said, hey, I'm a YouTuber, and they just to be thinking, oh, this just don't know. I mean, I got friends that make 20 grand a month from their YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying? And just doing what you love to do. From that, and of course, me, being 56 and was raising exotic birds, making 80 grand a month, doing that years ago. But I've always wanted to do what I'm doing. And luckily enough, I was able to start over, and I didn't have a family, didn't have responsibility, because if I had a family, I wouldn't even I would do something different. Right. So, but to wait it out now that the scales has tipped, it's a beautiful life. It's a beautiful thing to, create content. Now you're always constantly improving and understanding knowledge because you're helping other people. But at the end of the day, it's not the ride for everyone, but I can also go back and look at people like Mr. Beast. And I remember when he was just a kid on here talking, and mom was always in the background, get off that computer. Now you make $100 million a year. She ain't saying nothing. You get what I'm saying? So
this is what I wanted to make this point though, Roderick. This the whole point. Building something, young guys. Y'all have to build something consistently too, because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? I get it. They want the instant gratification. They want to get rich tomorrow. They want the quick rich scheme. This whole thing is about building. So 5 years down the line, young guys, y'all got to understand that it's not going to happen overnight. You got to be consistent. You got to be patient, and you just got to love what you're doing. When you get off of work, do that YouTube video, whatever means of entrepreneurship you got to do to break free of this rat race game, because the inflation is getting crazy and the pay is staying the same, and some of it might even be going less. So now naturally they're just putting you in a spin cycle where you're just constantly in survival mode. So you're going to have to do what you have to do. I know you're tired. I know you're mentally exhausted, but you're going to have to push through that fatigue and get to that other level of making things happen. Again, this Thick Face Black Heart book, right, that we're reading in the Patreon. Hey, if you have to whatever you have to do to get your energy up, if you got to drink coffee right after you get off of work, you're getting off at 5, you got to drink coffee to make that video. Go ahead and get to it, because at the end of the day, it's your life.
All right, so let's go with the initiative of, you and Desiree and Brother Joseph, you and your wife. We're not going to go where y'all are today. Let's go all the way back again when y'all didn't have anything. 2 people. You said it earlier. You worked this job. She worked this job, that job. Who had the vision? Did the wife have a vision in you? You had it in her, or, especially for you and Desiree, but did y'all see the partnership? Did y'all sit at home one night and say, we got to do something, and then the poverty or whatever brought you together? or like you said, this person had this intelligence. And for you, Brother Joseph, as we know now, the dynamics in your house, you are that leader, you're doing your thing. How many conversations did you have to have with your wife to believe in you at a time when nothing did exist? Because we are talking something that's here, that's in the physical world. Some people are dealing with each other, they can't see it. Some people are dealing with women that says, hey, I'm bringing, men try to say, I'm bringing home the bacon. And she look at him, I'm bringing home the pig, because she is, right? So it's these dynamics to not see the unseen, but yet we're dealing with spoken dreams, and dreams are not paying the bills, all of this stuff. So we know people are trying to stay in love, be in love, and also live in Brokeville, which is crowded in this town, right? So what are y'all thoughts? How do you take everybody back to that? And because you had to go through something to get here, and I'm sure there was a lot of trials and tribulations that people are dealing with today. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I had a girlfriend. I was down and out. This is when I was coming out of my situation where I was in the street game and all of that, right? So I'm down and out. I didn't have no place to stay, and I'm just trying to, I got cold turkey, went to rehab centers, whatever, right? Boom, and I cleaned up, and I'm sober now, and I'm trying to do the straight and narrow thing. Cool. Boom. I had to do what I had to do with this particular female who believed in me, invested in me, and all this other stuff, right? And even though I knew she wasn't going to be the one, I maneuvered into a way of getting myself right? Not saying I was using her, but it was just a natural progression in this thing. You feel me? When we're talking about these different unions. So boom, I end up becoming a PE teacher, right? Me and her didn't work out. Boom. But now I'm a PE teacher. I'm doing my thing.
Like a duck.
And I was able to, me and D-Ray was able to get together, right? Do our thing, right? Spiritually, but then unionally or physically, we were able to come together and have, the same ideas. Like when I was a PE teacher, I told her, babe, look, hey, there's no way you're going to be a teacher. She's just getting out of college. I said, don't be a regular teacher. Just be a PE teacher. I got us until whatever, right? Boom. She waited. She took her test. Boom. Became a PE teacher, a high school varsity PE teacher at that, right? So, you got to see something in people to invest in their energy rather than being a slave to the system. Because let's be real, everybody just wants to get out. Right? You just want your time back. You want to be able to get up at whatever time you want. You want to be able to bask in the freedom of being together with your mate, being with your kids, going and doing whatever without a boss dragging down your neck. You feel me? And I think it's important for us to understand that, like, look, we got a common goal. Let's make this common goal happen. Now, some people don't want that life, right? I was just blessed to find a partner that did want that. So naturally, as we progressed into this thing, she followed along. She said, hey, look, I'm following you, Big Daddy. And sure enough, I was on YouTube. She became on YouTube. And, we built the empire from there.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. Yeah, go ahead, Brother Joseph.
For me, man, I got lucky as well. My wife is she never was really materialistic. So I was being young and being poor and not really having a lot growing up, always having to really be in survival mode as a 17, 18-year-old kid, growing up. I had a certain mindset, until I learned how to be a man. And my mindset was I needed to be flashy. I needed to be, So I remember I used to go to her school. I used to go sneak up to her college. And they used to think I was serving in school. They think I was a drug dealer. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no, I'm actually a hardworking young man. I'm just working, But it was the way I dressed and the way my mind was, right? And I'm saying all that for a reason. I was into materialistic things very heavily. And what happened was me and the wife, our first few years of marriage, our house got broken into. And it was my own supervisor that did it.
Oh, wow.
And when I tell y'all he took all the stuff I really was really materialistic all about, and it really tore me down, that changed my whole perspective on what was important. Because when it happened, the guys were literally running out the back of my house while my wife was in the house, right? And I remember I had a picture of white Jesus in the back of my kitchen, back door. The jokers kicked the door they kicked down had a big first as soon as you kick it down was a big picture of white Jesus. That's how messed up Brother Joseph was. I wasn't just a Christian, I had the white Jesus picture up there. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking at him like, man, why you ain't do nothing? You know what I'm saying? So that was something negative that changed my whole perspective on life. And I started to focus more on not being materialistic and thinking how she thinks. Like, hey, life is life. I'm just happy to be with what I have. So I will always try to impress her with a materialistic thing. She never was really into that type of stuff. So I got lucky on that, you know. But when it comes to, you know, wanting more stuff, that's always been me. Because I always want to leave a legacy, something behind for the children and stuff like that. So I always pushed her into finances as I was getting into finances. Now, somebody asked the question earlier, how did you go forward with your wife being spiritual and your wife wasn't? Because I didn't marry my wife for spirituality. I married her because I wanted to be with her. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't based on spirituality. It was based on she makes me happy. I like her. I love her. I want to be with her. You know what I'm saying? So, so to this day, she lets me give her financial advice. Like I told her something simple to do. I think everybody should do it. Is to open an Acorns account, right? And within a matter of a few months, she had thousands and thousands of dollars in it, just from Acorns investing for her every time she used her debit card. So just imagine using your debit card every time you swipe it, it naturally invests your money into something you need. And she was up, and she started listening more and more and more. Like, okay, you know. And to this day, she lets me be the one that says, "Hey, we need to invest our money over here. We need to put money over there." She lets me control that. But I'm the guy. I'm one of these husbands. When I get any type of money, it all goes to my wife. Now, some people say, "You a crazy fool." You know what I'm saying? You're a crazy fool. Well, it all depends on how you can do that. It all depends on how your household works. My household works where we have extreme trust between me and my wife. I know she won't even do me dirty. Even if I did her dirty, she wouldn't do me dirty, right? Yeah. And she knows that really everything I'm building is really for my daughter and her. And I'm really trying to leave something behind. So don't get me wrong. I keep a little money in my account, but the money that we really invest and save, I let her control all that because I know she's not going to do nothing bad with it. You see what I'm saying? So we learned over the years to play that role. So you
segue to what we've been talking about. Should you have one banking account or two banking accounts?
Oh, okay.
Okay, good. Well, this one I want to ask you, Roger, because it makes sense. Because, like, think about it, like, why? So, and that's a good segue because, you have a partner, right? And she's working a job, right? The same amount of time. You're working a job, same amount of time. Let's say y'all both teachers making $70,000 a year, right?
Right.
You're paying all the bills, everything, right? And she's just holding that money and just keeping it to herself, nothing, right? What is the goal? What is the mission? What are we actually trying to accomplish? You feel me? It feels like a separatism thing when you are in a space like that. Because what if she was to invest in your business with her money or whatever, or y'all put y'all money together and y'all was able to invest portions of that money, right? That turns a $20,000 flip will turn into $200,000. Now y'all can break free of the matrix. But instead, she's hoarding the money. She's buying the glamorous stuff, right? The Balenciaga bags and going on trips and I'm doing me, right? Meanwhile, the husband or the guy is stressing because he's taking on a second job to continuously pay the bills. And so it doesn't actually add up or make any sense to be in that mindset if you're with a partner, right? Y'all's mission should be bigger than the glamour materialistic things. You need to make your money work for you so you can get out. And the real glamour is the freedom you experience every day.
Was that a question you was asking me, or you answered it?
Oh no, well, I just thought.
Look, I'm messing with my new hobby. I'm learning how to paint my 3D stuff. So,
no, I just thought, like freedom should be the ultimate goal, in my opinion. If you don't love your job and love what you're doing every day, then you need to figure out a way to love what you're doing every day. Like I get up and love what I'm doing every day. Like I told y'all, like even 6 o'clock, I'm like, damn, I really don't like 6 o'clock. God dang, how y'all do it? But I'm here, present, right, in the moment. And I had the ability, and people would love to do this, what I'm doing. You feel me?
Oh, yeah.
So naturally, how do you get to the position that us brothers are in? You need a partner that has your back and to have the same vision in order to use the money or utilize the currency, them funds, right? That'll set y'all free.
Yeah, I think it's I think there could be a different formula, different path to the same destination, so to speak. And I think people should be able at some point to really look at what you're working with and what you're up against, because you could be with a man that just got out of prison, or somebody did this, or this person may be a nurse, and this person may be a doctor, this person may be a lawyer, and maybe they don't like it anymore, and you expect for them to keep the lawyer job because they're making money, but they ain't happy and they want to just live a modest lifestyle. It's just so many things that I think that goes into these decisions. And by the way, I was seeing your wife put that. I used to go to the flea markets. I used to do that a lot. I used to have 5 stuff at flea markets, bringing stuff, making thousands of dollars.
That was our first business.
And I remember I was married. The ex-wife would hate to tell people that I worked at a flea market, but I had my trucks, bobtails. I was kicking it, boy. But in retrospect to all of this, I think at the end of the day, we were just going to segue into, not just money management, but you should be able to decide who is better with money between the two of you. Now at some point you trust in somebody who's better than money between the two of you, and they're stashing away X amount of dollars for the rainy day, and it ain't raining day for you all. They've been taught by their mother or father to keep money in case something happened. And I think it's a lot of stuff that we deal with. And so as you look at it at the end of the day, it's really hard for people to determine what is true love. Is somebody with you for this, with you for that, whether you got enough money over here, no money, maybe you're cute and too cute, and maybe you're fine, but that can go away. Maybe you this, and it's just so many things. I think when we addressed August the 8th, we could just lay out the blueprint of saying, here's what love's supposed to look like, and if you can find it in this criteria, then this may make you a little more happier than what this modern day world, or what I say traditional or modern day world, is showing the world. Because at this point, through social media and everything else, it is something totally different than the outcome that people are living. And you got people that are so frustrated with life, with bills, with all of these things, that they can't even get into a relationship, because it's just not, we're talking Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? The need to survive is so strong. Unless they meet each other in that trauma area, it's a turnoff on both sides of the fence. You got the brother over here or sister saying, hey, I'm all about my money, I don't care what you got. Then they look up 20 years later or 10 years later, they have no kids, no family, and like, oh, I forgot that, or you got people over here that's, so I just look at society, and those are the answers. I think there's uniquely that people are dealing with unique situations, and, is there a global address that we can help people or try to, and it ain't perfect for me either. So I'm just, I only get my experiences, right? But at the end of the day, there is just a set of rules for everybody differently, I would assume, based on their situations. What do y'all take?
Yeah, like what we was talking about, what Yosef was saying the other day, or when we was on the phone, that trust thing, right? Like, can a goddess trust in your vision? Can she see something that you're doing that says, okay, I want to invest in that, whether that be me massaging your back, or whether that me taking my money that I work for and investing in it, right? Like, can you trust his vision to lead y'all to freedom? You feel me? I see 35-2 Lambo says, I'm not splitting anything. You have yours, I have mine. In the middle, we just have fun, right? And that's kind of the mentality that you're seeing today that's actually causing people to stay a shell of themselves. Because again, what's better than 2, 3, 4, 5? There's these, like I was telling y'all the other day, 2 Indian families right next door to me. Indian family this side, Indian family both right next door to me. They got 12 people living in their homes. The 12 people each, older brother, uncle, aunts, older son, aunt, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Grandma even, right? Cool. Putting all their money together, making all the bills happen. Anyway, long story short, they're going to go get a gas station.
Facts.
You got a gas station on your neck. They're coming in. These foreigners are coming into America saying, "Hey, I trust everybody in this room. We don't even trust our mama. I trust everybody in this room. Let's put our money together, right? Let's get a gas station. Now this gas station pays for our human needs, and now we can keep on multiplying that, right? And now all of a sudden we're set free." So I think the mentality has to change even with your spouse. Like, all right, hey, look, this job thing is not really cutting it. I'm commuting 50 minutes a day, busting my butt to be a slave to this home that I'm barely in, to be a slave to this car that I'm barely driving, that I'm driving to work. And all I'm really doing is trying to shit on somebody that doesn't even know I exist. Right. So that glamour is a motherfucker. Like them rose glasses will have you fooled in the aspect of the glamour materialism stuff, because you can't take it with you.
Right.
Right.
The only thing you have is now. This power of now has to be so strong that you feel the pain when you're at these particular jobs that's not serving your greater purpose. You feel the pain going bumper to bumper in these traffic jams, trying to get to a job that will cut you like that. You are the value, right? And they'll cut you off, and now all of a sudden, what they say, close mouth, or what they say, if they could feed you, they could starve you. So now you're putting your trust into somebody that can literally cut your water off. So we have to have a different mentality. Like, hey, how can we break free? Because we don't want nobody to fire us, right? We want to be able to be owners, you know what I'm saying? Business owners, entrepreneurs, have our own thing. That way we can do our own thing.
Right. Yeah, and I want to real quick, brother. Also, everybody needs to learn how to see in the future. And I'm not talking about being psychic. Just pay attention to what's coming. And this will help, especially the men, because we lead our families. This will definitely help us make better decisions for the future. And now I'm not saying get into the fear thing. The government they got this coming. They got that coming. They're going to kill us with this. They're going to kill us with that. That could be true. But what are you doing to prepare yourself and your family? Every man should be in some type of preparation. I'm not a Christian, y'all, but there's a lot of quotes from the Bible that I still stand on as principles, right? A wise man sees the coming calamities ahead and prepares himself. That's what a wise person does. That's how I live every day. I'm always looking for what's the next thing so I can play chess. What's the next chess move that I can make while they making chess move? Because why does this work? Because we know the matrix runs off of consciousness. It runs off of human consciousness. The more this is why they cast spells, whether it's a cyber spell or a physical spell, and they want us to all be in fear, or all of us to be afraid, or all of us to, to think a certain way. They're gonna kill this black guy. Now all the black people are mad. They absorb that energy and they do something else with it. They need everybody in collective thinking a certain way, because we control this matrix with our consciousness. So with your own consciousness, what are you doing to walk into the future? Because every decision you make create a reality. So what are you doing to walk into the future? You need by being 1-2 steps ahead in everything you do. I love to be 2 or 3 steps ahead and pretend like I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to tell y'all the same thing. Like, just look at what's going on in the world, pay attention, and you will see how you need to play a chess move. Let me go bust this move real quick because I see what's coming. You know, I was on live stream the other night and I was showing people the physical cards I'll be collecting. I know Brother Dreamwise collects magazines and stuff like that. Y'all need to get into the physical collecting only because everything about to be digitized. And that's what I mean about making a chess move for the future. You don't want to start buying physical items that people are going to want to hold in their hand when 10 years from now, everything's going to be digital.
Yep.
Your video game's going to be digital. Your baseball card is going to be digital. When you go buy a card for your mama, you can text her the card. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. You text it to her. There's no more physical cards. You could buy in CVS no more or Walgreens. You see what I'm saying? This is where we're going. And for those who can see that, know what they need to be investing in. What people are still going to. Y'all ever see those things on TikTok where they have the 80s and the 90s? They play it back and you feel this nostalgia. You be like so happy, like, oh, I remember them days, man. You know what I'm saying? They're like, and they play that. They play that. It just puts you in the hypnotic zone where you feel good. You fall back into that childlike state.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? And that's what I'm talking about. There's gonna be people in the future who want to hold something in their hand and they want to go back to 2025. So I mean the world to them. Be smart, family. Make them chess moves.
It's a fact.
Well, I have a saying that, you know, people can adapt. And if y'all think about it, the audience, it goes something like, until the pain of change outweigh the pain of remaining the same, would one change? Yeah. And that goes back to that story you hear about the UPS guy, you know, coming on the porch delivering a package, and there was a dog over there just moaning, you know, and that moaning can be metaphor for whatever you're complaining about or whatever you're just talking about. And the guy said, "What's wrong with your dog?" He says, "Well, he's sitting on a nail." And he go, "What?" And the dog goes, he said, "Well, he's sitting on a nail." And the guy goes, "Well, damn, why is he just sitting on the nail? Why don't he get up?" He said, "Just like life, maybe it don't hurt bad enough yet."
I love that.
Yeah,
I agree with that so much, man.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that. That's when I realized in my mind, ain't nobody coming to save me.
Yeah.
Now, you know, when I really broke through, I had this realization. That's why I tell people, ain't nothing more powerful than a realization. When that dog realized that it hurt enough, he's getting up off that nail. When you realize in life that you're tired of being beat up by life, you're gonna find a way to fight back. You're gonna find a way to fight back, and that's what we gotta do.
Yeah,
you know, we could be 1 or 2 steps ahead in life, and you don't have to fight back that hard.
Yeah, no, and that's kind of like the mission I'm doing now on Patreon, is kind of moving people into the energy frequency of becoming an entrepreneur, because essentially you got to have the central nervous system for it, right? You killing your own food on a daily, right? So it can be a little nerve-wracking in the moment to moments of, oh, okay, where I'm gonna get this, that, right? But again, it's just you building things up. Like we all started with 0 YouTubers.
Yeah.
So young guides and goddesses as well, right? But specifically y'all young guides, y'all got to get out here and just start something and be consistent with it and persist even when it feels like nothing's going to happen, nothing's changing. Just keep going, right? And then tweak it as you're going, right? You know, we got to figure out, okay, maybe I need to talk about this. Maybe I need to work on me speaking. Maybe I need to try a different topic. Maybe I need to, whatever it might be. But you can't just be out here saying, oh, I hope somebody come and save me. Nobody's coming. White Jesus is not coming. The aliens are not coming to save. See, a lot of people are hoping these aliens come, Roger. And Joseph. They hoping the aliens y'all are talking about come.
I mean, we had a big show the other day that guy that's sitting over there, y'all can't see. And he said that the aliens are going to show up in Miami yesterday or wherever at the soccer game.
Okay.
Now he was hoping. Now don't get me wrong. I mean, for content, I was hoping 708 people get taken. And you know, and then for context too, he did buy his wife the ticket to the game. So I'm still trying to figure two out. why was he wanting the aliens to show up? But there was a lot of influencers. There was a lot of people, man, that was there hoping that this mothership was getting ready to show up.
They're ready to be taken out of their misery from the job, but you're gonna have to fight for yourself, because again, the biggest trick that people give you is to stare into a distractory idea of something coming. Oh wait, it's coming, and you get there and it never came, and the whole time you spent all your energy focused on the distraction. You got to focus on your mission right now and put something down, fellas.
And let me say this real quick.
Paul, I'm gonna take Paul's advice. Aliens can't save you as a shirt. I'm gonna write that down.
I agree, because I want to say this too. The aliens, we'll see aliens in the future one day, but they ain't coming to save you.
Right?
They ain't coming to save you. They let's just say they'll help provide an opportunity, but it's up to you to take an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they'll help with technology get better. But there's some people who gonna sit around the house and still complain when the technology's better. There's people right now. AI is making millionaires. They got AI bots now that can run a whole business for you. Mm-hmm. And people be complaining ain't no way to make money today. I be scratching my head like,
whoa,
man! It's AI doing stuff for people.
Yeah, that's the alien. The AI. That's the alien doing the work for you.
Right, and I'm saying like, they're gonna come and provide opportunity. Right, but it's up to you to save yourself. Ain't nobody gonna come save us, y'all. We gotta save ourselves.
Man, it's as literally as just pressing a few buttons, maybe making a monthly payment to get a website now. It's so amazing, dog, how people just can't see it. And another thing they're waiting for, Joseph, is that what you call it, universal basic income. Yeah. They wait for.
They've been talking about that already for quite some time. But I do got a question before we get out of here, guys. I know both of you at the event is going to have something at your tables for people to come and get, right? Oh, was that for the early bird only, right, at that time?
Yeah.
But we'll have other stuff for other people.
It'll be for everybody too. All right. So what I'm going to do is, and I haven't talked to y'all about it, but I'm sure you guys will agree. And maybe you don't, but you get to, be the villain right now. But anybody right now that's listening to us, if you go to the website, it's all in the descriptions of the videos. Anyone right now that, first of all, you want to shout out, go get your ticket right now, whether it's the virtual, because they can do the virtual or live, right?
Yes, sir.
Go get your ticket right now. Let us know. One of them can verify it. And then one of them going to give you an extra free gift.
Hey.
And if you buy it now, send them the email and they'll get it out to you real soon. So you might wear that gift into the thing and get you another one, right? You got to go buy the ticket right now. And Desiree, I think it's wherever somebody can check it and we'll give you a shout out. We'll talk for about another 10 minutes while we're talking before we leave, but that'll give you enough time to go get your ticket, whether it's virtual or whatever. And then we'll give you a shout out, and then they're gonna give you a free gift.
Yes, yeah. And let me say this real quick. I'm really looking forward for you guys to come out physically as well, because I had a really great conversation with a sister that was here.
Look, somebody said they saw you chuckle. They know what they be like. You ain't getting shit. No, he don't mean that.
No, come on out. Y'all know Brother Joseph got you.
Yeah. But go ahead.
But I had a great conversation with a sister that was there, and she was newly moved to Houston for the past 2 years. And me and her just had a great conversation about the dating market in Houston. You know what I'm saying? So look forward to that interaction, that one-on-one time with all of us, where I could say some stuff to you personally that I won't say on YouTube because it may strike too many, it may get some people upset. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't here to, I'm not here to tell the truth, but I could personally tell you more truth and more information face to face. So come on out to the event, whether you're a male or female, man or woman, and we can conversate. I gave the sister some great advice. She told me what the date mark was in Houston, and and her whole perspective was changed after that. So I hope she comes back. I don't remember her name, but I hope the sister comes back. She was a great person. Then I talked to another lady who was in her 60s. And she was very intelligent when it comes to law. She was shocking me with the legal stuff and the indigenous stuff. She was really smart, and she had her life together, and she was looking for somebody. So, brothers, if you in your 60s and you thinking, oh, I can't, gonna be some young girls there. Come on out. The sisters be there in their 60s. The brothers be there in their 60s on down. So it'd be a good time, fam. So come have a good time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Someone asked, was it live and virtual? So it's both, correct?
Yeah, yep. Live and virtual.
The live you're gonna get, there's a lot of extra little things that we're gonna be doing live that we won't cut on the cameras for. So y'all definitely want to come up here and see us live. And then there may be another special guest that you guys inviting that, we'll make that announcement and all that stuff. But yeah, if y'all want to go there, like I said, it's in the description of the videos right now. You can go there and get your ticket and get your shout out. And if we miss your shout out right now, we'll shout you out when we do our next live. And just call you a founding member or something. We'll just give you a special title, for buying your ticket early and everything else. Any other messages y'all want to leave the world?
One of the biggest things I'm gonna be talking about is the spiritual essence of relationships and how to kind of maneuver, through it, especially through the Lionsgate energy and the whole 8-8. I'm going to do a ritual that day so we can all power up, because I definitely want us to get into our bag, get into our zone, and just understand that the foundation of relationships should be spiritually sound. You should have some kind of invisible intelligence that y'all can both agree upon, whether it be Jesus, whether it be Allah, whether it be a higher self. You should have some kind of balance or some kind of perspective in, okay, let's follow let's kind of follow some kind of laws of the invisible, because that's actually what's running the show.
Yes. And my thing is, y'all know my thing is, I'm celebrating the end of this month. I'm celebrating 19 years of marriage. You know what I'm saying? So I learned some things across the way, y'all, how to make things work. You know what I'm saying? And this is why I'm big on principles. That's my thing, y'all. Principles and morals. You know what I'm saying? And I need people to really understand that's really the key that people are missing in relationships. Not even just marriage, just relationships in general. You know what I mean? We need a man and a woman needs to have certain principles and morals about themselves. So we know you can hold this man accountable in this relationship. Women just expect a man not to cheat. He ain't gonna cheat. He's a man. Yes, he will. You know what I'm saying? Men cheat and women cheat. But at the end of the day, if you know this man stands on a certain code and principles and morals and he's against that, you can hold him accountable. Same thing with the woman. If you know the woman has a certain set of principles and morals about her, then you expect certain things from her. That's what we're missing. And for those who want to know more about that, y'all can go pick up my book, Tribology. You know what I'm saying? That's why this is what I teach my tribe. And this is kind of the principles we stand on. And it's open to the public, but tribology, y'all. Tribe is the study of family. Tribology, study of family. How does family work? And that's what's important, family.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let me put the link on the screen. People are asking where to get the tickets. All right, it's right there on the screen for any of you that are looking to get your tickets. You got about 4 minutes left that we can give you your shout out before we get out of here. We would love to give you a personal shout out if you want to go ahead and get your tickets, either or. You all can do that. Like I said, we're going to be here live as well as live streaming, but the live, as you know, we only stream in a portion, of it, but then just imagine being around, hanging out with everybody, before and after we sit here and talk a little bit, get to know, and maybe you get some personal questions answered or, just different things, because live events definitely have their benefits and stuff. So if you can come to Dallas that day and come and hang out with us throughout the day, then you won't be disappointed. I'm emceeing it, but they're going to be really doing their thing, and you're just going to get a raw and uncut, number one. But number two, there will be an open mic, and then number three, you just may be there with a like-minded person and walk out with that love, because y'all both in the same place searching for it. And that's the energy connection too. So there's a lot of things that could happen, and you all can kind of do that. And so I just think it's a beautiful time, for everyone to begin to partner up at some kind of way, because they are going to try to make sure partnerships and relationships, so to speak, are harder than before, because these people are not playing. They're not playing, trying to make things get a little difficult and anything else. So let me know if anybody come through before we go.
Shout out to Steven Scala. He just bought a ticket for New Love Life Dallas.
All right.
So Steven Love Scala.
Okay, is he coming virtual or is he coming live?
Let's see here. I will let y'all know in a second here.
Okay.
But I just got the email.
One of the things I wanted to say was, like, when you are sharing a bank account and you are because that whole thing with separate bank accounts versus one joint bank account, the thing is just responsibility. Like, we got to be on the same page, family. Like, come on, let's get to this freedom zone. You cannot be so selfish to go get you a Balenciaga purse because you want to look cute at a party. You feel me? Why would you go buy $1,000 dress because you have an ego problem? So, one of the aspects of what I'm going to be talking about is the spiritual essence that each partner should have that moves them past the world, right? You're in the world, but you're not of the world. And in all actuality, you're sitting on top of the world, alien.
All right, we have Dante. Don't call me. Unc said he want us to wait right quick. He's going to get him a virtual ticket. So go ahead. I mean, either way, y'all support the cause, and even for some of you, listen. This is very important, and I'm saying it's not to pad anything. This is out of true heart. We have this happens all the time. Let's just say that you can't not make it, but yet you have the means to. You can buy a ticket and sponsor somebody. We'll make sure you know who it is. Y'all know each other or whatever. You can bless someone, and that'll be something too. And we'll give you a shout out for just being that blessing to other people. So I'm sure, is there a note where somebody can do that if they wanted us to bless someone with the ticket? Can they put a note in that so we know who it is? I mean, not who they're blessing, but that's what their intentions are.
Oh yeah,
just put the person's name on the ticket.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying maybe they don't know who the person is. They just want to bless them, and we'll help them with that. But maybe in the note screen they can. I think maybe in the note screen they can say bless this person or something. I don't know. But I would like to give them, when we give them, a shout out for that too, because they may already have the love of their life. They may already have someone in their corner, but they believe in the mission that we're trying to accomplish. And maybe they want to grant and bless somebody with the power of love or learning to meet the person that they need, because it's all universal, right? And so from those things, and we can kind of do that. All right. With that being said, I think at this point we did a good job today. Someone said, "How do you win the blessed ticket?" Well, we got to get somebody to bless someone first. So we already know someone wants a blessing. So there you go. Kids the one. Now, you talking live, or are we talking virtual for you? Then maybe somebody will bless you. We don't say live and you ain't gonna be able to pay for the plane ticket and get here, and then whatever. So don't do no one like that. But if it's virtual, let us know, or whatever, and maybe somebody will bless you. So let's just be specific and call it out like it is. And but with that being said, we give a shout out to everybody. It's been a plum, pleasing pleasure, as well as a privilege of being able to serve you all in the best capacity that we can. And but do bring your wisdom and knowledge and your blessing in virtual. Okay, so there's someone at Skittles that says they're virtual. And if someone want to bless this person and we are watching this later or whatever, you can get a ticket. I think there may be some notes, and it could be Skittles, and we'll make that announcement the next live stream. So you can be that person or bless anyone. Somebody might want to bless somebody with a virtual ticket or whatever. All right, guys. So last minute, anyone y'all want to say y'all last words, and I'll get us out of here.
Hey man, great build, powerful build. And fellas, hey, you got 3 great examples right here of brothers of gods that move with a certain mission, a purpose driven. So again, if you're gonna lead, right? You're going to have to be able to follow. So just understand that, hey, we've done it. We've been there. You know, the wise sage ones, the older wise sage ones, and you got 3 great examples here. So just take our words and just really let them marinate in your spirit. Because again, like, I wish I had an OG or a guy that was giving me game early.
Facts. Yes. Well, I just thank everybody for coming on. I had a great conversation today with you guys. Just come on out to the event, y'all. If you're looking for, if you gave up on, maybe you gave up on relationships and said all women are evil, or maybe you think all men are evil. Come on out. Let's talk about it. Because I'm pretty sure y'all gonna love Brother Rodney. Know how to get people going and stirring up and everything. So, I had to help the brother in the lecture. I was like back there, like, don't do it to yourself, brother. The women was about to jump him, man. You know what I'm saying? So we had a great ended up being a great conversation though. But come on out, family. We're gonna have a great conversation. It's gonna be dope. You guys come on out, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
All right, y'all. We'll see y'all on the next one. Peace and blessings. That's Brother Yosef with the Dr. Spock thing there. Peace and blessings. All right. Let's end that.